I plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states.
Hi, this is Janetta, and glad to be with you today. And the topic of it is, I don't know much about what's going on in America, but I know what's going on in Africa, and with the election, guys, of these two, the President Trump, who will be president, and of Kamala Harris, that lost the race. And we're kind of discussing what does it do in Africa, and how do the African people feel about it? A whole lot of them. Especially, I don't know what much has been said about Tanzania, but quite a bit has been said about Nigeria. Now, I talked to my Nigerian grandson. He was a little bit upset this morning. And one reason, because he feels like they have rejoiced more tremendously over the outcome of the election, and that we should be really seeing about other things that are very, very important to Nigeria. I know the election is important, but to Nigeria, grandson, what is that going to change for Nigeria?
What is what?
What is going to change for Nigeria?
Well, I don't know, because we have so many hypocrites in Nigeria, and it's not making a whole lot of sense. Assuming we could come together as one, it would have made more sense. And the unity, I mean, this bad government we talk about are just few people, but if you look at it in the real sense, the bad government are still us, the people, because we are not coming as one to really fight these people. We have a group of people who wants the country to be liberated, and we have another set of people who don't want it to be liberated. They are comfortable with what is going on. In fact, they are making more money with what is going on in the society, and they don't care about what other people is going through. So I don't really see Nigeria being liberated anytime soon. I don't see it.
Well, what does that really have to do with, because you were saying this morning they're out celebrating Trump's victory, but his victory, you can't see what it really will do for us personally in Nigeria. I mean,
That's right.
What changes are we going to make?
I mean, when the video went on air, we have a lot of Nigeria. If you go through the comment section, and they will like, okay, are you people celebrating Trump in the sense that Trump will come from all the way from America to come and liberate you? You have your own problems. You haven't dealt with your own problems. You have not used this medium to face the government and tell them to come to your aid, especially now that dollar is almost 1.7. You've done nothing about it. You've protested nothing about it. The people being kidnapped by the Boko Haram, you've done nothing about it. Only for you people to use the remaining money that you're supposed to use in feeding your family to sew uniform for somebody who is in the US. That's unacceptable. If you have that power in you, I mean, that time, why not use that time to do something for your community? And yet they say Tinubu is wicked. Tinubu is not doing anything. It shows that you are eating enough for you to have that strength to celebrate somebody who is far away from you, very far away from you. It shows you are comfortable. These are things when Tinubu look at it, the president of Nigeria look at it, you say, oh, these people are living fine. He doesn't see anything to be concerned himself with. Because you people are not giving him reason to be worried. You are giving him more reason to relax. That's my annoyance.
Now, grandson, you know, you mentioned Boko Haram. I mean, you mentioned, you know, it's the northern tribe of people, the northerners on the Nigerian border that, and between the border between Niger and Nigeria, and they celebrated Trump's victory, right?
That's right.
Okay, and so your upset is that they celebrated Trump's victory, and they probably waved flags, American flags. Did they wave American
That's
flags?
right.
Okay, now when we were talking about Tinubu and his government and what he need to do and the things that he has caused problems he's caused, and people were waving Russian flags, then you throw them in jail. Why?
Because during that period, a lot of them, I mean, the protesters were saying Tinubu must go. So Tinubu felt they are trying to impeach him.
Yeah.
He felt they were threatening his seat of authority, asking him to step down for someone else, not even someone else in Nigeria, for a Russian to take over power. That was how he felt, and that was why he came after them.
Well, they weren't trying to get a Russian to take over power.
They are trying to get the Russian attention, and they did. The Russian president addressed Tinubu, telling him to sort this mess out. He addressed Tinubu, and that also increased the anger because someone else from his own land is coming to address you. It doesn't make sense.
Now, this boy, 10 years old boy, right? Me and this boy, they side step. Apparently, these are the boys that the Tinubu government arrested, that they were flying Russian flag. All these children, when you see like this now, they go prison because they could not secure bail for them. They are going to the prison now. They could not secure bail for them. Now, the question is this: what does this boy know about flag? This boy does not even have a basic education, let alone knowing that he flew a flag. So you are charging all these kids for treason. Me, I just came out of cell, and I was with them. That's the craziest part. This morning, I was going to pee when I woke up. I was going to pee when I saw this boy. I was like, these boys are children. So now we came to court. They could not grant their bail. They have adjourned the case. So where are they going to sleep? They are going to sleep inside the cell again. And already they stayed for more than 90 days. Today is the 93rd day. 93 days for all the children today. Everywhere. Today is the 93rd one. Boom. This one only. Which food? This one only. See everybody. And all the way from Kano. Where they carry you from? From Kano. Brought them from Kano to Abuja. Where's their parents? Their parents now go they cry. Nobody see them. All these are kids. 10 years old. How old are you? And the best condition. 14 years. All of them are less than 17 years old. It's crazy. It's crazy and it's not fair. Come on.
But that's
And
the
yet we've had things happening on the border. People that have been kidnapped, women that have been kidnapped by Boko Haram, have played double jeopardy. They've been kidnapped. Then after they get released, they're made to take forced abortions, and they're not given the medical care they're supposed to have. And some women have died about it. They said over the last few years, over 10,000 women have died that they have record of. And these were forced abortions that they had, whether they had it through medicine or whether they had the operation to have an abortion. And some of the women, most of the women, were not even asked or told why they were having those abortions. This is just something they did. And they said they did it so the Boko Haram wouldn't grow more. Like the baby's gonna come out with a Boko Haram flag or something like that. I don't know. But, what do you say?
Nigerian troops have rescued a woman kidnapped by Boko Haram militant 10 years ago. She was one of more than 270 so-called Chibok girls taken from their school in 2014. Local authorities say the rescued woman now has 3 young children. Almost 100 of the Chibok girls are still thought to be held captive or missing.
Before we go on to, you say that Nigeria celebrated Trump victory. My question is how Trump view Africa.
Well, according to what I just heard, is that Trump believes Africa should be supported by Africa. And he sees more of an investment in Africa where more money can be made. Because remember, Trump is a businessman, okay?
That's right.
And so, therefore, he's looking at profitability. So if you're spending money to help soldiers come down here, and you're trying to maintain certain things, certain empowerments, that costs you money. But if you try to work with the country to help build them, then they will cooperate with you. Then you can get more than putting them under a threat and saying that if you don't do this for us, we're not going to give you this aid money, which is not really aid. It's almost loan money, really. So his is in the profit of Africa. It's more like, and especially Nigeria. He's very much interested in Nigeria because Nigeria's growth. If Nigeria has more growth within Nigeria, it can produce more, be more, and you make a friend. Nigeria, Africa will really be United States' friend if United States made them a friend rather than a servant. Because of where I'm getting everything and I'm giving you nothing. And then what I'm giving you, I'm telling you, if you don't do things my way, then you won't get anything. So I just looked at a video that it said that the requirements that the Biden administration had on the African people was over 17 pages long. And the requirement that Trump had is only 1 page long. And the specific requirements tie around profit. Mainly profit. You build jobs in your home so your people won't come over to my home. They won't have to come to try to find a job. So let me find a way where I can keep your people in their home. And I believe that's going to be supportive of a lot of things. But the criticism, when you don't do things the way it's been done years and years and years and years, then you're not following the procedure would stand up. All these wars that we've had cost us a lot of money. Maybe we finally got somebody in that will listen to him long enough to see that instead of fighting everybody and spending a whole lot of money fighting people, that we could have much more power if we got along with them.
Okay. So what do you think Africa will look like after Trump's presidency?
Well, it's just according to how Trump's presidency will run.
Donald Trump has won the 2024 US presidential election. What does this mean for Africa in regards to military cooperation, aid, diplomatic relationship, and economy? During Trump's first term, the Trump's administration's foreign policy in Africa was characterized by a mix of security, economic, and diplomatic initiatives with a focus on counterterrorism, trade, and countering Chinese influence. And as we all know, during the Trump's administration, he didn't focus on Africa that much, to the point where he was getting criticized. People believed that he was neglecting Africa and focusing elsewhere, which, to be honest, Africans didn't mind, because when there's a lot of focus in African countries, we have seen a negative impact and not actually seen a positive impact. We'll talk about that a little bit more in this video. So some of the key aspects of Trump's foreign policy in Africa during his first term was: 1, counterterrorism and security cooperation. During Trump's administration, he called for a reduction of US troops that are being sent to Africa, which Africans actually celebrated. People believe, especially people in the West, believe that Africans are celebrating when foreign troops are being sent to Africa. In this case, the foreign troops are the US troops that are on African land. A lot of people are not happy with that decision because a lot comes with having foreign troops on your land. They have immunity, so whenever they commit a crime, they can get away with it. People are not happy about that. Also, these same troops that are there to help the people, they are accused of committing some heinous crimes, and people on the continent of Africa are just done with that. They don't want that to be there, although the governments love it, because they're puppets. They are
benefiting from it. They have this relationship with these leaders, world leaders and Western countries, so they're happy to facilitate that for them. But the people, the locals that are living around those troops, they complain a lot. Like, for example, let's talk about the British Army in Kenya. How many stories are coming out what the troops are doing in the country? And unfortunately, they'll get away with it because they have immunity. And when it comes to trade, during his first term, Trump focused on increasing a two-way trade and investment between the US and African nations. The initiative sought to boost economic ties, support infrastructure development, and expand US business interests on the continent. And mostly he was focused on that instead of aid. Aid is something that he discouraged, and he was reducing the amount of aid that was being sent to African countries. Of course, temporarily, because of dependence on that aid, a lot of countries felt that pinch, but at the end of the day, African countries need to start being independent. You should not always wait for aid to pay your staff to feed your people. You need to come up with ways to pay your people a sustainable way of doing things. Use those resources that God gave you, your natural resources, to get money instead of depending on aid coming from Western world. And you know there's something attached to the aid. They ask you to do certain things that you're not even happy with because you're taking their money. So I don't believe cutting aid is such a horrible thing, because at the end of the day, a lot of that aid doesn't even go to the people. It goes to a few of the politicians' pockets. So what are we doing here? It's better if the people understand that relying on aid is not a good thing, and we start working towards being independent. So Trump focusing on investment and trade instead of aid is not so bad, although some believe that aid is just the most wonderful thing these Western countries can do for us. It has brought us where we are at right now. We're literally crippled. We can't move without an aid coming from one country or another. We should cut that umbilical cord. If we're going to be forced to it, so be it. Another thing that we've seen during Donald Trump's first term is that he really didn't focus much on African countries' human rights violation. This is what we hear quite a lot. Like whenever something happens, you'll hear a Western country, not just the US, but it could be a European country or the UK, come out and make a statement, almost threaten to take these countries to the UN Security Council, or at the very least make a statement and say that this is not right, this shouldn't happen, we will stop giving you this aid, we will stop this funding. We hear this quite often. But during Trump's administration, although he did do that to a number of countries, including Ethiopia, he didn't seem to care that much. He didn't meddle in other countries, in this case, African countries, what they're up to, what they're doing. It was never like the way it was during the Biden administration.
He doesn't have a lot of friends. I mean, he has a lot of people that want him to fail, and they're always looking at the next election, so they can try to get their person in the next election. So is it about the people? You know, this is one thing about democracy. It's supposed to be ran by the people, for the people. But our corporations run the United States of America. Profitable, big corporations. And as long as they're making money and they're going on the highways they need to go on, and they can do their own bridges they need to go. America right now, if you look at the structural, the infrastructural things in America, the different cities in America, you look at different infrastructural things, schools and a whole bunch of other things. We're showing a weakness because we see far better in China, we see far better in Germany, we see far better in France, we see far better in many other countries. So we're behind. Germany has a train that's so fast that it's just beautiful, wonderful. Our train system in the United States needs very much updating. Things we have in the United States need, our schools in the United States need updating. So we have a lot of things that need to be taken care of, but we're spending money on books. We have 804 bases throughout the world. Whether Trump is going to spend a whole lot more money on 804 bases, I don't think so. So I've never thought Trump was a good businessman, but he's a businessman. He's a businessman. So how do I think it's going to affect it? I have no idea how it's going to affect it.
And how do you see Africa economic and growth after this Trump presidency?
I think it depends on Africa, okay? I'm not going to give it up to Africa because the United States is not a big daddy of some kind. I don't even know how we get this concept. We have all the wealth and minerals and things that they need. They should be the ones coming to us rather than us going to them.
That's right.
With our mouths open like some baby birds just waiting to be fed. And then our president's not acting like men or women, making a stand and saying what Africa will take and what they won't take. We're waiting for them to give us something. Now, what is Trump going to give us? He's going to fix it so we can't do this or we can't. We got to please Trump. And see, that's one thing you know about that Haiti thing, where Kenya promised to send, they sent 400 some troops. Now, what's going to happen to the rest of them? There's a commitment, a contract of 1,000. Is that what's going to happen? They had to wait till after the election. Will there be a bloodbath in Haiti after the election? What's going on? And the real things about Haiti, nobody's addressing. Africa's not addressing. Kenya has a president. Africa we could address. Why are we sending our slaves in Kenya against the slaves in Haiti? And they're not doing it. This is one thing about whether it's Republican or Democrat. They have a way to make it look like we're killing each other. And we call ourselves helping them. Because Rudolph was supposedly helping, being a friend to the United States. For what? Slaves going against slaves. And we're going to wait to see what Big Daddy says about it.
I said assisted genocide. We can no longer go into a country and take it over with guns and bombs and tanks and planes. That would be condemned by the world. But instead, we allow the people to kill themselves. And this is why I call it assisted genocide or assisted self-genocide. It's like assisted suicide. You can't kill a person directly, but you assist them in killing themselves. We're doing this on a vast scale to entire countries and continents today.
You see what I mean? When are we going to finally get off the floor, get off our knees, and stop begging for the crumbs that fall from the table? Eric Conachambori says the very same thing. I'm glad that the power of abortion didn't win. I'm glad that did not win, especially for what it's doing here in our homeland. Do you know what it would be if we weren't aborting and doing some of the things we do? You know, they sent over, I think it's 60 billion or $600 billion to support abortions and birth control, but we need clean water, we need irrigation, we need sanitation. So if you're really trying to help me, why don't you help me do that? And if I have more irrigation, sanitation, electricity, I won't have as many babies.
Okay, before you go on, what impact did Trump view on abortion?
Trump's view on abortion, it's not that it's his view on abortion. He probably don't like black babies any more than anybody else. But he has a Christian view on abortion.
Plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures, and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states.
He has a Christian view on abortion. Not that he is a Christian, but the people that put him in office basically are charismatic Christians. That's a whole bunch of them are. And so that's their stand. So of course, if your supporting team has a stand, you're going to stand for that stand. But the thought of abortion and not abortion, if they could make it a black and white thing, they would say it's okay for black people and other people to have abortions, but no white people can have abortions. This is a real basic concern because the white population is down throughout the world so low that the abortions affect. But right now in the United States, there are 5 times as many black women having abortions as white women. In fact, they're trying to really encourage white women to have babies. And say, if you get pregnant, you don't want that pregnancy, we'll take care of your baby. Don't worry about it. You know? And we used to not have to worry about somebody taking care of our babies. And most of the time, if girls got pregnant, mothers and fathers would help, or grandmothers or somebody would help. That's not the standard, but the deception on the fact that they're giving abortions over here in Africa, we don't have the medical treatment or the facilities, the clinics to support it. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So it is not so much the fact that I like Trump and don't like the other person, but Trump is, him being in, is putting a cap on that abortion situation. And they make these young women think that it's just, oh, you have an abortion, it's just falling off the log and you taking care of your body. But let me tell you, young man and young woman, you got a right to keep your legs closed. You actually made a decision because you were made to have babies. Now, if you've been raped and incest and things like that, but the majority of those people getting abortion is not that. It's just somebody decide they don't want to have a baby. Or the man that they got pregnant by say, well, I don't want to have no baby. I want to. And she said, they decide to have an abortion. There's some very beautiful people that have been born that were supposed to be aborted. For a decision to be aborted because there's too many babies. There's too much. A man can have a vasectomy. He can even have it reversed if he wants to. Have a vasectomy. They got pills for men. They got things that he can do. But these people are having babies on purpose and then decide after the purpose don't right, they want an abortion. And that affects the woman's body. You cannot start something like that in your physical body and then just stop it all of a sudden. You can't do it. And not that abortions are new as of today, but these young women have been made to believe if they get pregnant, ain't nothing to aborting the baby. Now, it's just easy. It's just like duck falling off a horse or something like that. It's just made very simple, like it's something. I knew a girl that had 5 abortions by the time she was 22 years old. Okay? That's not healthy. And then when she did have the baby didn't survive. Why? I don't know. But things happen. So if anything, if I like Trump and that I've seen over here in Africa, grandson, and Magia, one of the things I found out is that the praise is over abortions. Because one thing, Africa is known to be, if you're in Africa, you are majority of the people are either Christian or either Muslim, right?
Yes.
And the Muslims don't believe in abortion, and the Christians don't believe in abortion. So this is a celebration. It's not the celebration, grandson, so much about President Trump as a celebration about that abortion thing. So if you really closely listen to it, it's about abortion. Has a lot to do about abortion, because abortion in Nigeria especially. And you know that, you've told me that. Am I right?
Yes, you are right.
Okay. Talk to me. So, and now Kenya is celebrating Trump's win. Tanzania is celebrating Trump's win. These countries are celebrating Trump's win, not because they like Trump's policies as far as their countries are concerned. They like Trump's policies as far as that. That's one major thing. They do have some other things they do like about Trump. But that's one major thing, is that abortion. Resources. So if you don't believe this, let's talk about it. And not that you have to believe what I say, but at least check it out. The facts are there. They're all there. So, hey, this is Janetta. I know my grandson going to cut this up, but that's it. This is Janetta. And thank you, grandson, Olanaka, for talking with me today and asking me the questions. And I wish you would ask me as many questions, Magia, online as you do offline. I do offline.
I'll ask you more.
Yeah, you had to ask me some more. And you have to remember that I'm just one American. And I'm an old one at that. Okay? And it is not, I can't say I speak for all women, can't speak for all black women, can't speak for all old black women. I can't say that. But hey, this is Jeanette. I'll talk to you later. And hey, let's make it a conversation. And see what we come with. See if your prediction is better than mine. I'm predicting that the next 4 years here in Africa is going to make a dynamic change. And that there's some things about policies and things that are written in the United States that you need to read about. Things you didn't know.
Yes.
You know, we can't wait till we see it on the news or when they get ready to report it. But I mean, things that you need to know that this is how they feel. See, the one thing about it, Trump winning has not changed any policy that the United States established before Trump. Policy is a policy. That's what's set up. They made the policy. This was the policy. Just as you make a policy, you make a decision that this is how things are going to go, that's what you follow that policy, right?
Yes.
So you don't change policies every time a president goes and comes. So when that president goes, he still have a policy. That policy still stands. The policy that Richard Nixon made when he was in office, those policies still stand. There's some policies that President made in the 1800s. Those policies still stand. So a lot of times it's not, you have to check to see what the policies are and see if that president can make a change or not. Or does he have to go according to policy? Okay?
Okay.
All right. Yeah, and I want to thank everybody for all of you that have been so supportive. I'm not as, let me see what I can give myself an excuse. I'm not as resilient as you all at your age in life, the majority of my audience, but I'm doing the best I can. So if I don't write you right away and don't respond to you right away, don't get upset. Just give me some time, because everybody's response is very important to me. And in fact, it helps me to get on track. Okay? So hey, ooh, yeah. This is Janetta. I'll be talking to you real soon. Follow me on BlackSRadio.com on Saturdays at 8 o'clock Costa Rican time, but you have to check the webpage to find out what time it comes on in your area. So make sure before you go, if I didn't say it, I need you to subscribe, I need you to like it, and I need you to, but be honest, if you like it, I need you to make a comment, and I need you most of all to share it. Okay. Bye. Hey, this is Jamila, and you're watching Africa Speak.